I needed to build a set of stairs that traveled from the first floor to the basement. Fortunately, PennWest Homes, who made our home, provided the proper framing for that to happen. And here I'm removing that framing so that I can progress. Because the underlayment was glued to the top of the floor joist, I had to use a little more persuasion to get these floor joists down. So with a little extra persuasion from a mall, I was able to convince the floor joist to come down, and I stacked them both over to the side and out of the way. Before doing any cutting and ripping and tearing, I had actually drilled some holes down through the top to mark out where the walls were above the framing. And so I had a line to follow with my sawzall from underneath. Now I'm up on the first floor making the final cut to remove the rest of the underlayment to create a clear opening for the stairs. I now have a cellar stairway hole. Yay. By the time I got the opening cut out and had figured out what the lengths of my stringers were going to be, my local lumber yard had closed. So I had to travel to Home Depot, and unfortunately all they had were 2x12 by 16 Douglas fir timbers for stringers. All I needed really was 14 feet, and I would have preferred to work with spruce, but I had to do what I had to do to get the job done. After I figured out what the rise and the run needed to be for my stringers, I used trammel points on my square so that I could be consistent in my layout. You can see one stringer right behind me. I had already laid it out and cut it out, and then I laid out the other two the same way I did the first, but I used the first one as a pattern to double check my work. I found it most efficient just to cut all of the riser cuts into the stringer. Just go right on down through the length of the stringer, just cutting all of the riser cuts. I followed the riser cuts by doing the same fashion with the run cuts, and this is the cut that the tread sits on. So I just moved from one end of the stringer right on up to the top, cutting all of the run or tread cuts into the stringer. Finally, I used my jigsaw to finish off both the riser and run cuts so they met at their sharp corner, and the sections just dropped out on the floor. And this is the moment of truth, just kind of trying out one of the stringers and see how it worked out. I'd never done this before, at least stairs of this length. There's 13 steps, or I guess 14, you add one. So I'm a little dumbfounded that it came out right. I guess you got to trust in math. Math does work. All right, yesterday, September 8th, 2019, as I was building my stairs and trying to videotape it, I ran out of storage on my little cheap Apple iPhone 6. So anyway, here is the finished product. I still have railings to put up, but it gives access to the upstairs via the basement, so the workers can go up and down easy enough. And work is progressing here.